Hi, I'm Dawn Brody, a comedian with a history degree and the host of the podcast HILF, History I'd Like to Fuck. Each episode, I am joined by a new guest who has brought me a subject from history that they want to know more about. Then I hit the books, I dig deep in the annals, and stimulate. We've covered Frankenstein, Houdini, Joan of Arc, Pompeii, the Salem witch trials, right? Join us and find out for yourself that history is a party and everybody's coming.
I'm Kevin Van Hentenryck, and you're watching the Deluxe Edition with Casey and Ray.
This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
And welcome to another episode of Deluxe Edition. I am your host, Casey Kehr. Joining me, as always, Ray, the podcaster.
What's going on, brother?
Not too much, buddy. Another great interview here. We had a couple of firsts for us tonight. We had, a couple. I say a couple because it happened multiple times. A few songs for us. A few songs were played for us tonight.
Yes, the bards were in the house this evening.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. We had the virtuoso Noah Gibney and my good friend Kris Kehr on, and they are a part of the Noah Gibney Duo, and also they play as the Noah Gibney Trio as well. They played a few songs for us here tonight and talked about their career. Noah is an amazing keyboard player, and he's only 15 years old. So I'm really looking forward to see what the rest of this kid's career has in store for him.
Yeah, it's a bright future when you actually have talent. You know, it's a lot different than, what I went through.
Yeah. Noah's not going to have to be a roofer.
No.
Yeah, he's amazing, and Kris Kehr, just an incredible person. I was a fan of Chris's before we were friends, and he's just an amazing person, all around great guy, guitar player, mandolin player. Just he does it all. He's awesome. Yeah. So come check it out right after these quick plugs.
Oh, the goddamn plugs, man. The goddamn plugs.
We are a part of the Deluxe Edition Network over at deluxeeditionnetwork.com. Check out all of the great shows over on the network. There's no podcast of the month this month, so just check everyone out. Some of my favorites are Bev's Video Kingdom, Barrel Aged Flicks, Spoil My Movie, Take on the World. There's just so many good shows. There's 15 total shows over on the network, so come check them out. Let's see. You can find all of our previous shows over at deluxeedition.show. You can come over and follow us at Instagram and Twitter at Deluxe Edition Pod. Mostly on Instagram. I'm kind of fading away on the Twitter end of things. I haven't posted there in a while. If you'd like to support the show, come over to patreon.com/Deluxe Edition Pod, and you'll get the episode as soon as we're finished recording, unedited. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt, or I think they have hoodies over there as well, come over to whatamaneuver.net/collection/deluxe-edition. And let's see, Ray, where can people find you?
I am the 10 Cent Beer Night podcast, and you can find me on Instagram and the Facebook at the same name. And you can go to TeePublic, search the same name, and buy all kinds of dumb shit and bootleg merchandise from all the shows on our network. So it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. Ray's a great host. I've been hijacking a lot of these podcasts. Ray hasn't said a lot. He's just been hanging out with me for a while. But check out the 10 Cent Beer Night podcast. Ray, he's a great host of his own show. And we are now sponsored by GetSlicks.com. You go over and they have really great hats, hoodies, shirts, all kinds of different stuff. This one here is a great winter hat. It says "Stay High" on it, as worn by Tommy Chong. Go check it out. GetSlicks.com and use code Deluxe Edition Pod at checkout for 10% off. And now, our chat with Noah Gibney and Kris Kehr.
Let's do it.
We wanted to do this for a while, and got like 250 feet and running in from inside the house, and I could not figure out how to get another modem going off of the router, or another router going off the modem inside. And I brought my PC out here, and I circled around it and yelled some stuff at the sky, and I kicked the dirt, and it happened. It was amazing.
Awesome. So this is your recording shed.
Yeah, this is where
This is Whoopie Cat Studios.
That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome, dude. I mean, holy shit, that looks a lot different than the last time I was in there.
This behind me is the garage door. Like I walled over it. On the outside, it's a garage door, but on the inside, it's a wall.
That's awesome.
I'm very proud of that. It's very bat cave like.
Hell yeah, dude. It looks great.
Put some insulation in here. I'm still working on the ceiling, a couple of things, but yeah, it's good. You can sand a piece of wood, or you can record some vocals.
Very cool, man. So Chris, that's Ray over there.
Hey, Ray.
What's going on?
Hello, Noah.
Hey,
Nice
Howdy.
to finally meet you, man.
nice to meet you too.
I think I first saw you during the I just saw my t-shirt for it today. What was it called? The Berks quarantine.
Oh, the mic.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, the Berks open mic. Yeah, I think that's like around when you first started playing like sort of out, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I'd say that was kind of like when things started to like get like bigger, and I started performing more. So
That's when I met you.
yeah.
Still going on.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys, so we're recording already. So you guys met.
Yeah, I figured that.
You guys met during the pandemic.
Yeah, pretty much after the pandemic is when we met. Yeah, so we were doing a gig with drummer Matt, and that's how we first met. It was kind of just like a trying to think what the right word of.
I don't know. Matt Cullen.
Matt Cullen,
I think
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you know Matt. He called me up. I think it was that morning and said, "Hey, you want to come play bass with a couple of guys? No heavy. You have to learn anything or just come out." And so I played. It was like a showcase with him and somebody else.
Showcase what I was thinking of. Yeah.
And played bass and got along well.
Awesome. So, but you originally met during the Berks County open mic, like on Facebook.
The thing that I'm describing, the thing I'm describing is where we first met.
Yeah.
I first talked on. It was at the Liberty Tap Room. They were having something. It was like the first gig. Maybe it was a couple. Man,
I think maybe
foggy about all that
like
stuff.
September or October of like
Yeah,
2020.
like half a year in or something like that.
Okay. Awesome. So I know a lot about Chris's career, Noah. I want to talk to you a little bit about your career here first before we jump over into Chris's stuff. More recently, the Serendipity Sessions, co-written with G Love.
Yeah.
How did this come about?
So also during like when the pandemic started is when I got in touch with G Love. So his like tour, he was supposed to be in Japan, but that ended up getting canceled due to the COVID. So he was kind of finding some like other ways to make some money while not being able to gig and stuff. So he was doing these like songwriting sessions. So I messaged him on Instagram if he would be interested in having me do a songwriting session with him, and he said sure. So it was actually my 13th birthday when we first wrote our song. And we ended up really working well together and ended up writing 15 songs together over the pandemic. That was pretty much from like March to July when we wrote those songs. So, and we've been in touch ever since. And I actually got to play on his Christmas record that was released not too long ago. And then, I did some piano tracks for that. Yeah, of the 2 songs we wrote together that were kind of having a Christmas theme. So.
Very cool. So I heard you say he was in Japan. His tour got canceled, and so he was looking to make a little extra money. So this was something that you paid to do, like a little writing session with him.
Yeah, it was like more of like songwriting lessons. Yeah.
But it eventually turned into more than that, right? You
Yeah.
you actually went and played. You played with him. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. So it's like started out with me kind of being a student, then we became like friends, and I was able to play with him last year around this time at the TLA. I was actually able to do one of the songs we wrote together, "So Much Love," with him. So
very cool. So how did that lead into you also met President Biden after that, right?
Yeah, that's a crazy story too.
Yeah, tell us that story.
Sure. So I don't even know why I did this, but I decided to send I found like an email on this on the president's website to like send messages to him about stuff. So I just sent him about my music, and I don't even know why I did this, and I forgot I did it. And I sent that in about, I think, like maybe May, like right after my first EP, the Serendipity Sessions, was released. So I sent him that, and then in July, I got a phone call the one random day, and it was like, it says unknown caller from Washington D.C. So I'm like, do I answer it? Do I not? Because those are like those like spam calls that are like you don't want to pick up. But I ended up doing it, and then this woman is on the phone and says, "Are you Noah Gibney?" And I'm like, "Yes." And then I was like, "What is this about?" And then she was like, "The president would like to meet you because he's going to be in Macungie and he heard your music and it's really awesome." I was like, "What?" And then so and my parents are thinking like, this is such a scam, and like we're like fact checking everything, and it turned out to be true that he was going to be in Macungie, and this person that called me was like a legitimate person that worked for the White House.
Did you have Secret Service guys show up at the house?
No, I mean, I don't know. They could have been spying on me.
Something.
I don't know.
No, just like, excuse me, Mr. Gibney.
Yes. Right. But so eventually, the next day I think it might have been 2 days after the call, we went to Macungie where he was doing some event. I think it was like promoting like American businesses or something like that at the Mac plant in Macungie. So I was able to do a meet and greet with him and be able to chat with him, and it was such an amazing experience being able to talk with him. I mean, the Secret Service were everywhere there. Like it was just
did they like pat you down or anything? Or
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Look you over?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. There was like all this security and stuff like that. Like they would be like checking everything, and they had to like, yeah, it was crazy. It was like,
what? Hey, Noah, what was the first question you asked him?
I think I can't. Let me think. I think it was just like it was just like, what is it like being the president? Like it just is like amazing. Well, it was interesting because like it was like a photo line too. So like there were a couple of people that like started talking before I got to talk with him. So it was just like these people were talking with the president, and I was like, oh my gosh, like it's just like it's like such a surreal moment. And it was just like seeing this. But eventually, yeah, we had like a 15-minute conversation. It was just like awesome, and he was great to my whole family. We were able to all go to this event and meet with him. and it was just great being able to chat with him. And also I was able to. This is an interesting story too. So I wanted to hand a CD to him where like I had one that I could give to him, and I had one where he could sign one for me. And they were like, usually we don't do this because like you have to be careful with all the like, because they literally check like everything you're handing the president. Because
Sure.
right, like it's just like crazy. But this one woman was like, I guess we'll take care of it. So like I handed the CD to her, and they were like, I guess we'll find out. So like after we were chatting, President Biden was going to give a speech, and all of a sudden I hear when we're going to the place where the speech was happening, I hear this man shouting like Noah, Noah, and I'm like, oh my god, did I do something wrong or whatever? Like all the things that could have gone wrong. But I guess so. What happened is I saw the CD, and President Biden had it signed, and it says on it, "Remember me when you hit the charts." So that was just an amazing thing to say, and it was just great being able to meet him. And we've actually been able to be in touch with the White House ever since. So it's just been such a great experience having that, and a great story to tell.
Very cool. That's awesome. So were there talks about you playing at the White House also, or am I imagining that?
No, we're actually trying to get something down there in the spring that will work out with the White House or something like that. I've been in touch with them a little bit about that. So, but we're planning on hopefully doing something in 2023 there. So
I think I mentioned it was we're trying to get a Christmas show in there. They were doing that, and that almost happened. And he was talking, they got back to him and stuff, and just didn't happen. But they left that door open, So we're gonna keep trying.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. What's the worst that they could say is no, right?
Yeah.
Right.
With sending that email out.
Yes.
What I understand.
Yes. Yeah. They're great to chat with. Yep.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. I email, absolutely everyone to try and get them on the podcast. And the worst they can say is no. So,
right.
That's a great story, man. That's awesome.
By the way.
What's that, Chris?
You guys have been rocking, by the way.
Oh, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
Thanks.
So Noah, how are your parents supportive of your career choice? You're very young. Are you still taking the time, to be a kid? Are you still, what are some of the other hobbies that you have other than playing music?
Sure. Well, the first question, yes, my parents are very, very supportive. It's just great having their support. And
his dad, Jeremy's always around.
Yes. Yep.
Drives and helps. And
did your dad go to Central Catholic?
He went to Holy Name.
Okay. I know the Gibney name from.
Yeah, there's a lot of us.
There's a lot of
Yeah. Yeah. You probably might know one of my aunts or uncles.
Standing up
okay.
The venue looking. That's happened.
Yeah. There's a lot of us. Like literally, like everywhere you go, someone's like, "Are you a Gibney?" Like, it's just there's so many of us. But yeah, and back to the other question too. So some other things that I do is I'm really into playing tennis and pickleball too. Like that's what my dad was really good at, and he went to college and played tennis there. So it's another thing that I have a passion doing. So
awesome.
But mostly it's on the phone to promoters.
Yeah. That's the hardest thing you can do.
Right.
And text.
So how hard was it for you to learn you're mainly a keyboard player, right? You play guitar and some other instruments, but you're mainly a keyboard player. Did it come pretty naturally to you, or is it something that it took a long time for you to work at?
I would say it came pretty natural to me. Like I remember my parents telling me that when I was like, even like at the young age of 2 or 3, like I could like pick out like that's a piano or that's like a trumpet. Like I always had an interest, like even from like a really, really young age of playing music.
Guys, I used to play with that drummer Matt Cullen on Penn Street on Sundays for the farmers market, and I have a photograph of his parents used to bring him down and kind of just like, can you like sit and play with you guys? And he would bring ukulele and just kind of sit there, and I get this picture of him. You look like you're 5 or something.
Yeah,
sitting in front of me and Matt, and then a couple of years later.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I'd say music has always been a passion of mine ever since like a very young age, and I've just been keeping on working on my craft ever since about like 5 years old. So, and I guess you could say it's been a long time coming, but it's been a lot of fun playing music. So
You give a lot back. You do a lot of stuff for Olivet and
Yeah.
lessons and showcases and there's always something coming up.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's it. That's in my notes here. So since you mentioned it, Kris, you teach piano yourself now? No, also right at the Olivet Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, I've been.
How did you get involved with that?
So, actually, I really started learning guitar there actually, because Josh Taylor, who runs the music mainly at the Olivet Boys and Girls Club, is a good friend of my family. So he told me about that. They have a great program there, sponsored by the Reading Music Foundation, with all the great local music or musicians, and that would be something that I should be interested. So that was just like when I think about like maybe like 6 years ago is when I started playing music there more as a student. And then through the program, I actually now have been helping out teaching music, especially with the summer camp. That's what I did last year.
Which my daughter went to the summer camp there this
yeah.
past and was part of Frozen musical this year.
Yeah, I remember you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's one of the last times that we talked, Kris. I remember that you telling me about that. How did she do in that?
She did great. As a matter of fact, she's rehearsing now with the Genesius Theater for Lion King musical.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's good. Got the bug.
Very cool.
Yeah, they
So
really
is
hit
that-
out a lot there. That was amazing experience.
Is
for her.
that do you remember that, Noah, playing with going and playing with Kris when you were a little kid?
I mean, kind of like I remember.
There's
I remember
a couple times.
Yeah, it happened a couple of times, but I definitely remember the whole scenario where it'd be like, oh, it's a Sunday. I guess it's time to go play at the market, and then my parents would bring me down there. I always remember like I'd play a set. I think like it would be like somewhere between 30 to 40 minutes, and my dad was like 30 to 40 minutes of playing. Like obviously that's not a lot now, but that was for the attention of a 4 or 5 year old, and then I'd end up like after it.
4 or 5.
I remember like there were like these like giant cookies that were like bigger than my head. I actually like somehow like there's like things like when you're like really young that like stick out to you, and I guess that's one of them. Like I remember them like after I'd play, like I get this like giant cookie that was like bigger than a 5-year-old's head. But yeah, I always remember, and it was great that Kris and Matt would be so kind to let me play there, and it was a great experience and definitely inspired me to keep on progressing as a musician.
Hey, you didn't stop.
Yeah. I heard you talk about in some of the other interviews that I listened to that you were in. I heard you talk about another musician that you remember hearing when you were a young kid playing at the West Reading Farmers Market. What was his name again?
Bob Hassler.
Do you remember him? Do you know him, Kris? Do you remember him?
The name, I don't know that I did have a
Yeah,
name.
that was. Remember, we went to go check out one of his guitars in June.
right.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy. His wife.
Yes.
Yeah, that place, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Bob. I think he first started out as a market musician running that. And I think that was when I was 3. So when I was first seeing him, and I remember being like very much attracted to the style of music he was playing, which was kind of like blues stuff. And he was playing some. It was pretty much like blues, like Bob Dylan stuff, and some other different like singer-songwriter style music. And I just was really, really interested in that style. And he was actually kind enough to let me play with him too. So, and he was able to be a mentor for me for a couple of years until he unfortunately passed. But it was just great getting to know him, and he was a big help in starting my music career.
Yeah, very cool. It's always cool to have those good memories like that.
Yes, indeed.
I wish I still had my memories from back then. So, Kris, I have a question for you. So, all of the years that I've known you, this is going back, 15 years or so now. You've had your own bands and, mainly done a lot of solo things, solo projects. How is it now sort of taking a step back and kind of being like the second fiddle to a 15-year-old in in the Noah Gibney. You guys play as a duo and a trio,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, they're two different things too. Like the trio is, to me, is like very similar to being in the Recipe, as far as being a part of a band that I really enjoy when it's cooking, when it's really working well. Even though it's a trio, I really kind of leaned into bass work in the pandemic. I spent a bunch of money on my upgraded my bass and got a bigger cabinet and worked on it every day and still do. And I think I got a little better. And then playing in this challenging, it's challenging. It's up tempo and they're not easy songs. The feels are important, and it's a lot of fun. It's as much fun as playing any instrument. As a matter of fact, I love playing bass. I really, really fell more in love with it. But also, I spent a lot of time getting better at slide and doing the other stuff. I've been working on an album that's coming together now. I got some tracks finished. And then we do the duo thing is, more of a back and forth. Like I end up taking 6, 8, 9 instruments out, and he'll play guitar too, as well as keys, and I'll sing some, and it's kind of more of a whatever songs I want to work on. I do solo stuff privately. I've had a couple of those over the last year. Everything kind of changed during the pandemic, and the places I was playing don't do anything anymore. And I'd like to get back into it. Honestly, like through this past spring and summer, there wasn't much time. Like it kept me busy.
Yeah.
Busy is good. Busy and enjoying being busy. That's all I need.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still writing and still, the outlet right for now is in this space between like 10:30 and 4 a.m. Usually here, recording, working on or writing or whatever. But yeah, I the stuff for the album I want to be able to play out, and been working a little bit with the bass player. Noah comes over and adds key tracks here and there. Drummers are still the bane of my existence. But I got a new thing called Easy Drummer 3. It's a program that uses actual drum recordings, so it sounds well, we used it on the thing that we did for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really, that thing, I just wish I could just take it everywhere, and it doesn't argue or tell me not to solo. It's just awesome.
Well, one of the guys that's I run this Deluxe Edition network that we're a part of, and one of the podcasts that's on the network, Bev's Video Kingdom. I'll have to get you hooked up with Scotch Beck. He's an excellent drummer. He's phenomenal. Yeah, really good.
Where's he from?
They're in California.
Yeah.
But the way that everything's done now, like you guys do everything remotely anyway, right?
Well,
a lot of stuff.
There's venues though. I mean, there's some places there's some good rock venues actually that we played the Sound Bank in Phoenixville, and what was the name of the place we opened for Couch?
Phantom Power.
Yeah,
in Milledgeville.
That's an interesting place too. It's really weird how it shook up and kind of resettled in a way.
Yeah, I meant as far as like recordings, like I remember
absolutely, yes.
Back as when I still lived in Pennsylvania and you were making one of your last albums, I remember guys sending you stuff from North Carolina or wherever.
Yeah, Q played bass at all those bass tracks down in North Carolina, and Scott Morosky was on that too. He played up in Boston area. Yeah. No, you're right, absolutely right. Still, I can go on my computer and like if the hat wasn't right, I can just tweak it and re-render it, and nobody argues. And that's just great. I can't explain to you enough of how much I love that program.
Yeah. I was talking about that with it's a different field, but like artwork. I was talking about that with a friend of mine. Like we hired this Instagram guy to do all of our artwork. Like he does our thumbnails, he did my logo, he did all kinds of stuff, and he's reasonably priced, and people were saying, well, you have these friends that do art. Well, if your friend does art or something for you and you don't like it and you bitch about it, they'll take offense to that.
Right.
The element of professionalism needs to be present.
Yeah.
Right. Like my guy in Indonesia, if I say, hey, I need this changed, I don't like the way that looks, like he's like, okay, like he's an artist for hire, so it's like it's completely different.
Yeah, absolutely. You have one thing in your head, but then that's, you're not doing it for yourself. You're
right.
trying to bring it together for somebody else's business who they have a vision of. So, yeah, absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Especially with social media now, it's just like interesting how like you can connect with people that are like from like far away. Like I think there was this guy from New England that I connected with that makes the tie dyes for OTL.
He wears nice tie dyes.
Yeah, and OTL Dun Company, and he saw one of my videos and was able to send one of his tie dyes, and it's just like it's amazing how like the internet can just like connect you with all these people.
Why did I not get one of those? Is it that one you were wearing at the jam? There's a really nice one you were wearing recently.
Oh yeah, that's the newest one. Yeah,
I guess to get me one of them.
Yeah. I guess I'll have to say Kris Kehr wants one too.
Speaking of tie dyes, I'm wearing this fancy tie dye that a friend of mine named Kris Kehr made quite a few years ago.
Nice. Yeah, I have one of those too.
Yeah.
Small world.
What was I going to say?
Where are you at now, Casey? You down Florida?
Tallahassee, Florida.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Going back to the internet, we're talking about the internet. Ray and I, my co-host here, who's having technical difficulties, we have never met in person. Like we are an internet relationship.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I've noticed like the Stern show has changed quite a bit. When you look,
I've heard. Yeah,
he's there sometimes he's not. There's a certain, we all got used to it.
Yeah.
I think that was one thing with the pandemic. It kind of broke some walls down there with that stuff because what we find is comfortable is a little broader now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, this podcast was born out of the pandemic. Didn't have anything else to do.
Yeah,
and couldn't do it in person anymore. So
yeah. I mean, Julie, we're like playing once a week now from our basement. There he is.
I'm back.
Back from technical difficulties.
Difficulties.
I held the fort down, right?
I'm sure you did.
So, Chris, back to you. A question for you. What have you learned from playing with Noah?
It just forced me to get better. He's one of those guys, I like playing with people that are better from whatever way. You have to keep up at least, or be in tandem with at best, or you learn. It's always been that way. Guys in the Poets, when I was in State College, the recipe were always running into like national level pickers. Godfrey Daniels, that club out in Bethlehem. When I was starting out, you stand there and watch Norman Blake tuning his guitars and warming up. That stuff, you can't buy that education. And that's working with Noah. Is challenging in that way. I mean, the set in the beginning, it took me a little while to really get the nuance of the original stuff. There was no bass line really. There was a key bass that he had on the demo, but nobody was playing bass that I'd listen to that part and emulate it. And it took a little bit of time forming and playing, and that doesn't work, and this does work, and thinking about it. And it's kind of there now. I think he's starting working on a proper studio album.
Yep.
That I'll be part of, and so that's the next step, is working on that. That doing stuff like that, like I'm working on the record here, my record. It's like carving a statue. Chipping away at it, and I don't care how many years it takes to get it done. I just don't do 35 bass takes in a night and then throw them all away and but I learned something from that, and the next time you play, you're better. It's like a process. You keep thinking about it, sharpens you and focuses you. So working with Noah, has been a lot of that, especially live. I think it's a different approach now. And I mentioned the Recipe, the band I used to be in. That was very much just kind of showing up and playing the songs. This is a little different. There's a little more forethought, discussion, nuance. It's good
Now,
stuff.
is that because you're playing a different instrument than you're
I think it's Noah who it's the material. It's who he is. I think it's a little bit of me too, like where I am. Before the pandemic, like this whole place was born out of that. I was teaching lessons for somebody else and left there right when everything kind of crumbled and students followed me here. I had to fix the place up, and then I started getting this thing where I'd come out every night after the girls went to bed and play for at least an hour, usually 3 or 4 hours, sit here and play bass and just play along with people, make up stuff, whatever it is. And that's the stuff that really, then we go do a gig. I record them, come here, play along with them, figure out, that doesn't work. This works. Get better. Just keep doing that. The process is what I feel keeps me healthy.
Yeah. What's your process with remembering things? Like I'm sure we've talked about this in the past, but with the knowledge of music that you have, the just the amount of songs and things that like how do you remember that all? Is it just by playing, like practice?
It's dissolved into a gel right now. It's just kind of always there, and it just kind of there. It flavors everything. Really, there's the details aren't quite as important as the spirit and the that's the stuff that I take away from it. When you listen to a new player or this is some, I like the technical end of things, listening to albums that sound phenomenal, and that always gives you something to kind of chase. But I think it just, it's like eating food and you consume it and it just kind of sweat it out, the next time you're working, it just come flavors what you're working on. Like we're doing like Bill Withers tunes, more soulful stuff, which I didn't do before as much, but I love. And that's like that, playing that kind of stuff over and over, that flavors how I think about what songs I like and how I want to record them or what I like about them.
Yeah. So Noah, who comes up with the Noah Gibney trio or duo? Is it a combined effort to come up with the set list, or are you coming up with Noah's coming up with the set list?
So, yeah, pretty much. I
make him do it. I hate doing set lists.
I involuntarily do that.
Chris, when you play solo, would you ever have a set list, or would you just play as things come to you?
Stack of papers.
I remember the stack of papers.
Yeah. I try to cut down on that because it's unsightly. I'd usually have a bunch of songs that I've been working on and they just kind of happen. Those are all divided up by instrument. So now when the last couple of solo shows I did, the private things, I had six different instruments. They're all tuned different. There's a chunk of songs that's applied to each one, so I pick up whatever. There's going to be 10 songs that come out of that, that's
Sure.
how that happens.
So Noah, like where you're playing, like Chris said, you're playing, some things that he never played before. Where are you? What was your inspiration for some of these songs? Like, were your parents into this stuff, or like, because I mean, it's a lot of like bluesy.
He's got a lot logged in there already.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. My dad's music definitely influenced my taste in music. So really, yeah, the stuff that he would play for me when I was young, I always really, really liked. And then becoming more and more interested in music, I just kept on taking a deeper and deeper dive into stuff. And there's obviously a long more way to go. Into finding more and more stuff.
I take it as a personal challenge to make him have a band that he hasn't heard of.
Yeah,
doesn't happen that often actually. Most
that's one of the things I was going to say, Chris. Like you're saying about getting better because of playing with Noah. We're gonna pretend Noah's not in the room right now, dude. He's only 15. Like, think about he's got there's so much more to learn, and
that's what other people bring up to me. The thing is that doesn't come into play in this situation. I don't even think about it. Okay, after we get done tonight, Jeremy, his dad, dropped him off. I'm gonna have to give him a ride home because he doesn't have his driver's license yet. That's kind of thing that you think about, but I don't think on stage it's not even part of the equation.
Right. I mean, because he's as good as he is.
Yeah. As far as band leaders go, calling the songs, timing. If there was something that I was uncomfortable with or I thought we could do better, I'd say something, but there's nothing to say.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
Where do you think your work ethic comes from, Noah? Because I have a 15-year-old nephew right now, and it's I cannot imagine him going out and playing gigs on the weekend and lugging that key, because I know you're carrying that keyboard around.
By the way, my favorite thing is when he's texting me at school.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on the sofa watching television or something.
Yeah, but so really the reason why I'm so dedicated to this is because I really, really love playing music. Like, that's where the passion for it stems from, is I just really love doing this. I wouldn't dedicate the time that I've dedicated and the time that I will dedicate to it the reason why I dedicate myself to it is because I just love doing it. And that's why I keep on pushing myself to get better and better at the craft of songwriting, playing, promoting, and all different stuff, just because this is a career I want to be in. And I seem, since I'm at a younger age, I have a bit of a head start, but it's always great to have this head start because then I can just keep on pushing myself to be better and better. So it's just been so much fun playing. So that's why I strive to be a professional musician. So
if his attention would get, if he would get distracted or just only be into it part of the time, it wouldn't be the same for me, but it doesn't go that way.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, it's weird though, because I started playing around 15, 16, but I only started because I wanted to get the girls. So I never really did the craft side of it. I just spent all my time I'm in a band, so I get girls. Are the girls coming, Noah? What's going on over there?
Sure. Yeah, some interesting people.
Yeah,
been involved in me playing.
It's funny when people come up and talk to him like the type that he's never met before.
Right, yeah, I keep meeting girls and different interesting people that are just that I keep getting involved with. It's just it's funny how especially recently I've noticed just there being more of a buzz of stuff, but yeah, for sure, definitely the main focus is not getting girls from playing music, it's being a successful musician.
so yeah,
comes a couple more steps later.
Yeah, well, I would ask then, both of you can answer this question. Who was the band or the person that you saw on TV and you thought, that's what I want to do? Who's that? The first time you actually remember, that's what I want to do?
Oh, just as far as playing guitar, it was John Denver. And it was his Christmas special. There was a Christmas special, and I was 10.
Yeah.
But the acoustic guitar and finger style, he was not a bad guitar player at all. And that kind of folk singing, that age quickly morphed after that. But that's who was early for me. I mean, I love rock and roll. Listen to a lot of music.
For me, it was probably because this was my first real concert. When I was I think maybe 6 or 7, was probably when Elton John came to the Santander Center in Reading. That was just wow, this is a real rock and roll concert. It's just it just was because it was my first time really seeing a main national act live. So it just was amazing. Like, wow, this is something that's like really, really magical. That I was like, wow, I sure hope to do this. And seems like I keep getting closer and closer day by day. So that's what I keep on taking things at a day to day basis. So I guess like the growth mindset has been a main factor, and just like trying to keep getting better than the person I was yesterday. So
That's awesome. Yeah, and isn't it something, Kris? You saw John Denver acoustic guitar. You're mainly an acoustic guitar player, and Noah, you saw Elton John, and you're mainly a keyboard player.
yeah,
That's how it works.
yeah.
Very cool. So I guess the meeting people out is definitely going to get interesting for you as the years go on, Noah, especially since now you're starting to play in bars and clubs and things like that, right?
Yeah, probably the most interesting things have been the private parties.
Yeah.
I'm sure Kris has some better stories, but some of the people are quite interesting.
Yeah, they kind of let it fly a little more at a party like that. They're a little more comfortable in their own skin or something.
Sure.
But yeah. But
so maybe Kris will tell us the story that I love so much about smashing the guy in the face with the guitar.
I've heard that one before. You told me this one quite.
Ray has never heard it, so let's.
I haven't heard this one, so that's fun for me.
I havenn't had the joy of doing that yet. So,
did you ever see the movie Used Cars? Kurt Russell's like a 70s. Jack Warden played two parts in it, and there was one of the salesmen, would not sell red cars. Like they had to hide the fact that the car was red when they're doing the commercial and stuff. So I have a similar thing with guitars, and I got this red Les Paul Jr. And we were playing. I had an offshoot. I had this band Stone Poets, and I had an offshoot band Jawbone that played covers and rock and stuff. We get gigs in bars and stuff. And we were in Lewistown, and playing at this rock club, big wide place with low ceilings, and there's a girl. I was dating this girl, and she was pretty trashed, and this guy was all over her. We were doing the last song. It was an AC/DC song, and he was just all over her. It was right in front of me, and I got out the stage and had the guitar in my hand. I was holding the neck. It was this hand holding the neck, and it's like, dude, and he's just a smart ass to me, jackass, and I just looked at him and I just popped him like I wanted to pop him with my hand, but I had the tuning pegs and everything. Bent the G-string tuning peg up, and there's like a little piece of his skin hanging on the thing. He went right down, cut him open, went right down. His buddies drug him out of there, so we were like, "Wow, can you believe that?" And they were packing up her stuff because they were closing, and he broke through the security, had a broken beer bottle, came at me again, and the bass player JK and the drummer Jack kind of leapt on him, and he was like trying to get me and grabbed my shirt, tore my shirt off, and just swinging at me, and then cops took him and arrested him. Then at that point, I sold the Les Paul a couple of days later too because it was a tuning peg on it. Yeah, I felt bad.
Love that stuff. Love that story.
Me too.
I kind of wish I had that Les Paul now too.
So no stories like that for you yet, Noah?
Not yet. Nothing like that.
Do you know how hard it is to swing a keyboard?
Yeah. I can just be like,
it'll definitely take somebody out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Noah, what is your you mentioned the writing sessions with G Love online, the Zoom sessions. What is your writing process like? Will you have a tune in your head, like a melody or whatever they call it, and then start writing the lyrics, or will you have lyrics in mind and then start writing the tune?
Honestly, pretty much it always varies. Like there's some times where like songs will be written in like 15 minutes where I'll just like sit down at the piano and then have an idea for something. And then sometimes it'll take like a couple of days or weeks. It's funny too, like especially for the past couple of songs I've written over the past few weeks. Seems like whenever I have to study for a test or something, like a song idea comes like right into my head, like right when I have to like do something, and I'm like, oh, come on, and then I have to get it out. But like it's just like it's interesting. Like sometimes like it'll just like ideas will pop in my head organically. And then I'll just like sit down at the piano or sit with my guitar and just like write it out. Or sometimes like I'll just like have something happen to me and I'll be like, oh, I should write a song about that. Like more like starting with the lyrics. But it honestly, it all just varies and whatever comes out. It's kind of my way of writing. So
Is that pretty much the same with you, Kris?
It's changed over time. That whole thing about like what Townes Van Zandt used to say is, better catch that song quick as it's blowing through the room, or it'll go out the window and you'll lose it. I've been more of a gatherer, playing out here, and if I come up with something good, I'll just catch it on my phone and keep it in a file, and then I'll like go through those and see if anything can develop. A lot of times there'll be a spark with one of them, and I'll just focus on that for the night or a couple nights, get the basics tracks done, and you start collecting those, and you start like massaging those, move them forward a little bit, get to the point where you can get friends over to add some keys or do the vocals or whatever.
Now you're talking about like while you're just practicing, noodling around.
Yeah, out here at night. It's good for me as far as just playing stuff, coming up with stuff that's free form, and like I said, I'll get something that like, oh, that's a great groove, or it's a great chorus or something, and then I really want to get the groove right. That's when the drum program comes in, because I can actually sit here and like move things and work it and then get the bass part right, which I never did that kind of thing before, never cared about it, but I do like crafting the whole thing now. As far as that goes, I have a bunch of stuff that's needs lyrics, but I've started stuff. Some of it it's halfway done, and Julie's helping me work on some of that. I want to do an album with her, K&J album.
Yeah, awesome.
Next, so
very cool. Yeah, if people who are watching and listening, Kris's wife Julie also is a wonderful singer, and you guys did a lot of stuff during that the quarantine sessions that we were talking about earlier at the when no one had anything really to do during the beginning of the pandemic.
Every Thursday we did, I think, 14 in a row.
Yeah,
it was fun. It was cool. It was great to do it with her, and really kind of got all the songs out that we hadn't played in years, and getting people that we hadn't seen in years popping up on Zoom and whatnot. That was super pleasant.
Yeah as horrible as that as those 2 years were, when that stuff started, like all those Zoom sessions, like the quarantine, what was that what it was called, the quarantine sessions? Or
what do you mean,
the Berks County Berks County Live? That's what it was called, right?
The Berks County Quarantine Open Mic. I think that's
It's something quarantine in the title.
Yeah.
That was a good. I guess they still do that.
Yeah, I think they do that. So yeah.
I tell you, open mics came out of that. I think a little more stature, I would say. I've been hosting one on Tuesdays, but there's
really
a bunch around. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Chatty Monks.
Yeah, this place called Chatty Monks in West Reading, which is not far from. I think I can walk there, so it's really not that far from where I live. So.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
See them. I'm just seeing more all the time, actually. Open mics.
Very cool. Ray, am I missing anything, bud?
You usually miss a lot, but I think you're doing pretty good here.
All right.
But if you had to pick one cover song to open a set, what's your go-to?
Probably, definitely, a song by like Jerry Garcia Band or something by the Grateful Dead, like a good like opener. Like there's just one. I'm trying to think. Well, a lot of times I do end up opening with a original tune, but definitely one that especially we use this one. I think to start like the second set would be this one tune called "That's What Love Will Make You Do." That's kind of like a soulful, like upbeat tune. It's probably one of my favorite covers that we do. But yeah, that's probably like one of the my favorite songs that we do.
When I'm solo, I often open with Warren Zevon's Mutineer. That one has some personal weight with me. I love that song.
Yeah, I like that's my advice to any band when they're first starting out and you're doing all original material. Start your set with a cover and end your set with a cover, so they recognize something at the bookends.
Yeah, I like mixing it. And we maybe once or twice have done an all original set. But we covers in everything.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know. I think it gives perspective to the originals in a way. Like places them next to other stuff that kind of oh, that's where that one's from.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, it
Sure,
definitely
you can put your own spin on the covers also.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
Well, yeah, that's the cool thing though is when a band picks covers, they generally are bands that sound like them, like something that influenced them or sounds similar, so that you're kind of like, okay, I get it. I get it, what they're doing.
Yeah.
You guys did our intro music and the music for our network intro as well. So August 23rd, 2019, Kris Kehr was on a podcast called Saturdays with Chicken Duck.
Yeah.
And at that time, you were telling us about teaching an older gentleman how to play cigar box guitar.
Yes.
And you sort of kind of rolled your eyes at it at first. And now our new intro music has tons of cigar box guitar in it. So tell us when did this switch come, and tell us about our intro music.
Well, the intro music started with you asking for an 80s thing, and that just entertained my belly warm. And I told him, I said, we got to come up with some 80s sounds, and it kind of pushed him a little bit.
Yeah,
he had to start digging. That kind of thing wasn't right on the Nord there.
Yeah.
But found some stuff, and I had him over here and let him play it and kind of record it. And the thing that you eventually use as your main thing, that one I kind of had to cut and piece together so it went the way I wanted it to in the length that I wanted it to. And added, we did it to it was like a time, but we didn't have any drums or anything. It was a click track. And so added the drums, and those I edited pretty heavily to move things around, and then started adding the atmosphere with the delay and the cigar box stuff. Yeah, those things are amazing. Once I and I've operated on my instruments an awful lot, kept changing them, things I didn't like about them. So I got to the point where they play incredibly well, and I have regular guitar. I found a box of my old pickups from when I was still living with my parents. I had a Strat pickup, so I put an actual Strat pickup in here. And then I changed the nickel strings. I was using bronze before, and it just became, I don't know, very connected to me as far as being able to express what I had going on. I mean, I still have my Telecaster. I have a couple of resonators. Play a lot of mandolin, both soprano and tenor.
Please tell me you still have Barry Mando, right?
Oh, of course, yeah. Barry Mando is part of our sets. We play. Yeah, we do a bunch of songs with Barry Mando. This one is a double string, 3 strings, double, and it's more like rhythm instrument, I guess. This is like a tenor guitar. It's tuned the way Keith Richards used to, except doesn't have the bottom 5, the A string. And I've been working on my slide, and this thing is a slide machine. The neck, I think the neck's not as wide. I started listening to a lot of Sonny Landreth too during the pandemic, and that guy is great, crazy good. I love that guy. So I really kind of got into the slide thing. Building another one. Actually, I just got the neck.
So that leads me into my next question. You're building these now?
Well, I mean, I changed this a lot. The neck, I'm not even going to try to build a neck. But the guy that I was teaching would build everything in his house. But then there's a lot of stuff that I like. Why isn't it? You need weight in that thing, and I want this pickup, and I want this over here, and I just had definite ideas about it right away that I wanted to change. So now I'm making this one only out of necessity. Haven't been making them actually the last one I made to sell, made for him. We had to make a left. He's a southpaw, so we had to make a lefty for him for Christmas last year.
Yeah.
His dad came
Nice.
up with to make him. So yeah, this is the next one I'm making. It's going to be like this one, except it's going to be tuned differently. This is tuned to E. I need something more in the A range, but I hate changing strings and changing them over. I want two of them. So
Sure. So let me ask you. So when you say cigar box, so in your right hand, below your hand, is it an actual cigar box, or is it just built to look like a cigar box?
Nope, it's a box. It's a cigar box. Got it at the Cigar International store up in Hamburg. You can go up there and buy boxes. They have a big thing of them. Whenever they get their shipments in and they go through them. I think you can get them for like $1 or $2. I'm not sure how much they cost, but yeah, it's an actual cigar box. There's some that are, I think, better than others. This particular one are the ones I love. And
it looks like that's a wooden box. That's a wooden.
It's all wood.
Like when I think of a cigar box, I think of the old like cardboard.
I hear you. Yeah. There's some strange ones out there. It's kind of like the beer can collecting, in a way that it's like strange. You come up with strange ones. I've seen big ones. I would love to make a base out of this one I saw. These undercrowns, they're rectangular in the right way. They kind of have the Bo Diddley dimensions. You just got to cut a hole out through that, and the neck extends down through, and then I weight them because they come out tuner heavy. They always lean down, and I hate that. So I put a bunch of weight in this thing, and it feels more balanced now. And I had to pad out or run underneath the pickups because you get a lot of noise from moving your hand and stuff. So I got to the point now where it's kind of damn perfect.
And you can plug that in like a regular guitar.
Yeah, I use it with guitar amp with my Fender or my Gibson amp.
That's awesome. So the necks, is it a guitar neck or a mandolin neck? Like what?
No, they're
what
made
type of necks are you
specially.
using?
They're made specially for these. There's 25. It's the length of the guitar, 25.5 inches, but it's they got to be kind of like have this thing going, this block thing going on to go into the box.
Okay, so the neck, they're a little longer than a guitar neck because of the going all the way down into the box.
Well, the guitars are different kinds of guitars are different. A Strat will have a neck that's bolted on. Some are like that. Some have like my bass has a piece of wood that extends all the way through the body. This, to facilitate putting into something like this and being able to level it and get it, down there and that it doesn't move. This is the way it works. Having that in there, and then you anchor to the back and the top and the bottom, and it just is one with the box. It doesn't move or anything.
Yeah.
So
it looks awesome. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, this album I'm doing is mostly covers, and it's every song has cigar box, and thinking of calling the band the Deluxe, and I have not hit the wall yet as far as finding creative stuff to do with them and ways of finding tones and stuff. This one, I found a box of pickups. I have a DiMarzio DMX that I used to have in Les Paul when I was 17, and it's just ridiculously hot, and I cannot wait to put that in a Strat pickup. And I have two pickups. I want to put a second one in this one too. And I'm getting better at understanding the wiring. You can buy the whole setup now, and so as I understand stuff, and engage and make it bigger and more complex.
So do you play that? Like I me, I know nothing about music. I love it, but I don't know
more than you say
how to do any of it. Do you play that like you play a guitar, or do you play it like you play mandolin, or like? Well,
if playing slide, and I don't use, most of the time I'm not using picks with the slide stuff. I've gotten better at using my hands. I'll just plug it in this little amp here.
So our intro music, back to that. So there's, I think you said there's about eight tracks of the cigar box that you layer over, right?
So I have this old delay unit, and I run and a couple distortion pedals, and I run it into that and use a volume pedal to get swells, and you can get this kind of ambient, I don't know, just tones. And so stacking those, panning them across the stereo range, and using those in the background, and then I get that delay thing where I don't have my board hooked up, but getting that hook, then, that one had, it was always two going against each other. So I'd have to do the one and then leave spots for the other one to add it in there. And then I have the ones going on in the background.
The amount of feedback that I've gotten on that is incredible. I mean, everyone loves our new song.
Well, that's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was a lot of fun making. So
It was a lot of fun.
yeah, it's great because I haven't really done like something like that before. So it was great. It was a fun creative process. But yeah, we're happy that it worked out great for the podcast. So. There's the slide.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't go to church on Sunday. Get down on my knees and pray. Rise the books of the Bible. Got my own special way. I know Jesus loves me, maybe just a little bit more. I fall down on my knees every Sunday at Serendipity candy store. Well, there's got to be a chocolate Jesus good enough for me. Got to be a chocolate Jesus good enough for me. Tom Waits.
Love it.
I love this thing. So I said I got to get another key. There's some other stuff that I want to play, and there's a couple things in the duo act that I play while Noah sings too. Get to play slide. I love slide.
Awesome. So you guys gonna play a little? I had one more question for Noah before you guys play us out here a little bit. So I asked Kris this question. Noah, what have you learned? Because Kris is not your music teacher, correct?
No.
So what have you learned by playing with Kris?
A lot of things.
Yeah, I'm interested.
I'd say what I've learned the most is just like from him having a lot of experience in this business. He's just been, I'd word him more as a mentor, I'd say would be the right word. Just like kind of how to like handle more music business kind of situations. He's been a great help in doing that just based on his experience. And also it's just been great being able to play with him, and he's always gives I know he's always going to give me the feedback that he's thinking. So
yeah, I don't hold back.
Yeah, there's
he's not going to sugarcoat anything.
Right, exactly. So but it's been great working with him, and it's been awesome to play with him. I'm glad that he's interested in playing with me, and I'm looking forward to playing with Kris for many more years to come. So
awesome. So what is the next thing? You have a few more years left of high school, and then you plan on going off to college?
Yeah, I'm thinking of going to music school. I think what comes to mind is the Berklee College of Music up in Boston. So, but I still have 3 more years of high school. I'm a sophomore now. So, but yeah, so I plan on being in the music business as a career. So, and to please my parents, I'm gonna go to college. So then we both win at doing music and doing college. So
Awesome.
Yep.
I still haven't given them the talk of like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing music business? Are you freaking crazy? Sometime I'll give you that talk.
Oh, okay. Sure. Sure.
All right, what are you guys gonna play a little something here for us?
Sure.
All right, what are we gonna play here?
We're gonna do an original tune of mine called Shooting Star. This is probably one of my favorites that we do.
Wait a second, I lost my.
Hold on, as we have technical difficulties. Up there we go.
Shooting Star?
Yeah, this is a tune called Shooting Star. This is one that I got the chance to work with G Love on. And yeah. Open up your eyes. Take a look at yourself. You're perfect as you. You don't have to be somebody else. The world's got plenty of them, indeed so many of them. So why waste your time to be like any of them? Don't you know you're beautiful as you are? You're a shooting star. You're a shooting star. You're a shooting star. You're a shooting star. We all have our doubts, trying to figure it out. Sometimes we even feel like we ain't good enough. Don't be so hard on yourself. You'll figure it out. You got the right stuff. The world's got plenty of them, indeed so many of them. So why waste your time to be like any of them? Don't you know you're beautiful as you are? You're a shooting star. 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 Shooting star. Shooting star. Shooting star. The world's got plenty of them, indeed so many of them. So why waste your time to be like any of them? Don't you know you're beautiful as you are? You're a shooting star. You're a shooting star. You're a shooting star. You're a shooting star.
Beautiful.
Ew.
So I've heard that song before, Noah. How do you come up with the different arrangements? Like, why do you decide to play that different tonight than you played it, maybe another night? Because I've heard you play that song different before.
Well, it must have been older.
Yeah, probably like
It's more of a moving forward kind of evolves, but
I'd say like a lot of this, like how the Grateful Dead did different tunes differently. I just kind of like that whole idea that like every time you play something, it's going to be a little bit different.
Sure.
I'm sure that of course, like from this year as towards like a year or two ago, it's evolved to being something different. But I just like that it keeps it kind of fresh and interesting. So
Sure. Yeah, and that's something that you've done over the years too, Kris. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, keeps it interesting for me. I playing similar songs, a lot. You don't want to have to like make them the same every time. I mean, that just really just pave over my head. I
Sure.
Like to have it interesting. I mean, some nights are in different moods too. Some nights you reach down for it and it's just not there, and you got to really work for it and dig for it. Other times you're brimming over with energy and you just kind of coast, and find stuff. It's always new, and I like it.
Sure. Like I remember as a kid, I don't remember exactly what album it was or whatever, but I remember hearing a band, listening to a band on the radio and loving that band, and then hearing their live album, and it's completely different than the stuff you've always heard. And it's like, before, especially for me, like before I was like smart to the business and like, respected the musicians and all that stuff, I was like, what the fuck? This doesn't sound anything like it's supposed to.
Right.
Yeah. It's I don't know, studio albums, it's almost like it's a lost art anymore. Not really, but it's not like, people buying albums and listening to a whole album isn't like the norm like it used to be. Singles, stuff like that. And a lot of times, it's real they're recorded real basically, real starkly, not a lot of stuff going on except for the basic melody and so I think it's not as different when you see it live in people's minds, if that makes sense. It's not like like Santana, some of those albums where they produce a hit, off an album and then it'd be pretty vastly different, in concert. And I don't think we come to it. I think we listen to music a little differently now. I don't think we expect that.
Everything is different now.
I mean, looking at on YouTube, if you look up your favorite song, you're going to have that studio version. You're going to have 3 live versions underneath it anyway.
Maybe even some covers of other people doing it.
Other people doing it, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's the same with. I was like, I'm blown away. I text Ray, every day. I put these shorts on Instagram, or not Instagram, on YouTube, and the most recent short that I put on it's 14 seconds. Okay. It has, and like all this stuff matters when you're monetized on YouTube. It's 14 seconds long. It has over 9 hours of watch time. Okay. Our one of our most recent episodes with a great guest has 12 views and like 1 hour of watch time. It's like the algorithm and like the people's attention span and all that shit is just, it's so ridiculous today, like in this world that we live in.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Like people would rather see a 12-second clip and then just like scroll up and watch like a full, like really, really awesome interview.
Oh,
it's just weird.
My 9-year-old has discovered TikTok.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm guilty of it too. Like I'll sit
it's like
all night long
and just scroll up. No, scroll. It's like, it's just a weird thing.
Yeah. It's I hate it, but I love it so much too.
Exactly. I love it as a viewer, but I hate it as a creator. That's kind of my
Right.
thinking.
Yeah, like I've been telling Ray, I'm like, we need to find, out of the last like 50 shows that we've done, go back and find 1 minute clips of all of our shows.
I'm currently working on that. That's like my project that I'm doing is going back and digging through and looking for those clips where something actually entertaining happens in like 30 seconds. That makes sense. But I mean,
gotta be
you
like
can
a surprise.
Yeah, you can chop anything up, but it has to be somewhat entertaining, I guess. I mean, it's weird, man. I just, I'm thinking maybe if you could write an album where every song was 14 fucking seconds long, you would have a gold mine.
Right, like, boom.
That's
Done.
it. You're done.
5 hours of streaming.
Throw that on TikTok, you'll have 1 million views in 3 hours.
No.
I know that you're not a fan of TikTok, Chris, but I'm pretty sure someone in your household is.
You know what I'm saying? No, both the girls, my wife and my daughter. No, it's not like I'm not a fan of it. I honestly, the stuff that I see sometimes is very funny. I like Jack Black has some ridiculously hilarious things. There's some good stuff there. It's not like I don't like it. I don't feel connected to it in a creative way. Like I don't come up with any ideas or anything.
Sure.
My daughter, on the other hand, will spend like the whole day today following the cat around, doing it and
fuck them cat videos. God damn.
Yeah, or but whatever it is, it's usually the cat. But
you know what's really popular too, which I don't fucking get, is these chicks will take a comedian's bit and they'll basically lip sync it and make a video and act like it's the greatest thing that you've ever seen, and they get millions of views on these things where they're basically just ripping off like George Carlin or Mitch Hedberg or some other comedian. And I'm like, how is that content that people want to see when they could just go see the original comedian do it? But some hot chick does it, and it gets more views than the original comedian who did it.
I don't get
that first part of that sentence, man.
Well, I've been telling everyone I do a podcast with for years, we need a chick to just sit in the back in a low-cut blouse who just looks up shit on the internet for us when we need to, and I guarantee our viewership will go through the fucking roof.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
Well, with that long blonde hair of yours, Ray, why don't you start wearing a low-cut top?
Well, yeah, summer's coming.
Not when the camera's on.
Chris, you have a tune for us, brother.
Me?
You?
Let's see. I kept going back and forth on this. Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah. With what you guys are saying, I was saying like whenever it like would change screen, there could be a girl. It's like how they do it on Wheel of Fortune, where it's like boom.
Yeah.
That'll get. Your
yeah. Up. Absolutely. But then she would be. All of our 30-second clips would just be her.
See that?
That would be it.
Right.
He's getting the cigar box back out.
Dude, I love the cigar box guitars, man. They're so fucking cool.
Chris, when I was listening to that, you can't hear us. Chris, when I was listening to that old Chicken Duck episode, you were talking about the Cigar Box Festival. Have you had a chance to go down there and check it out yet?
Yeah, I went down that first year and watched the acts playing. They had a stage there and a bunch of revolving acts, and walked around, looked at what the guys were selling, and for like $350, I just immediately wanted to go into business. Like, I can do better.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of actually the inspiration of this album. Something with a cigar box in all of them.
So when you play out, do you still? I mean, you still take your acoustic guitar and stuff. Are you?
Oh, the 12 and the 6. No, yeah. I got a new 6.
You're not like known as the cigar box guy now, are you?
No, I hope not. You really get like looked down upon certain circles. The Godfrey Daniels circles. There's some people there that just like.
It's kind of like that guy who made the guitar out of the shovel. You ever seen him
Yeah,
on YouTube?
That guy that plays that shovel, he's actually is a good cigar box player. He's like a website.
Yeah, it's funny
Next
because
Chris.
on Chicken Duck we talked about the exact same thing. That the shovel guy.
The shovel guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's an icon. You know. This is an old song. This is actually the song I did in my first record. Let's see. 15 pounds of trouble straddling my back. 15 days in a Texas jail. I ain't ever going back. I ain't ever going back. I ain't ever going home. Been 15 years out walking. It's been 15 years and well, I come from Alabama, where hardly ever snows. Frankly, where I'm headed to ain't anybody knows. Ain't anybody knows. Ain't anybody cares. It's a long, hot road I'm traveling. Get hotter till I'm there. Well, the road is getting faster now. I'm traveling up north. After work there on a fishing boat, I'll never see the shore. I'll never see the shore. You'll never see the road. Won't be wearing out my walking shoes. Won't be carrying that load. Pounds of trouble straddling my back. It's been 15 days in a Texas jail. Ain't ever going back. Ain't ever going back. I ain't never going home. Won't be wearing out my walking shoes. Be carrying that load. Won't be wearing out my walking shoes. that load. Won't be carrying that walking shoes. Won't be carrying that load.
Beautiful. That's an old Kris Kehr tune there.
That's right, Alaskan Fishing Boat Blues.
Love it. So that goes back to exactly what I said to Noah. You that's not the way that I remember that song.
No, I changed it drastically.
Yeah.
There's a Mountaintop Blues too. I'm working on for this one. Changed that one up. I wanted to. There's one new instrumental on there, but I wanted to have some of those older ones that I like. Just do them in my mind better than they were before. You know, a little more pizzazz or something. More interesting.
Awesome. Beautiful. Love it, man.
Thanks.
Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, man.
This was a first for us, musical guests.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, anytime you want us to be like in the background, we can do this thing. You can just put us in the back. We can be your house band. In the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was awesome. So what's next? This will be coming out on the 29th. So any gigs you want to plug for after that?
Sure. Well, really, for the next couple in February, we're doing a lot of this, the duo stuff, and a lot of it's going to be local stuff. So, I know, off the top of my head, I know there's a couple more, but
Beer Wall.
yeah, there's a gig at Beer Wall. This place called Beer Wall on Penn in West Reading. I believe that's the 24th, and then the 9th is at the. I actually just booked this one today at this place called the Barley Mow, which is like a block away from there too. So that gig's on Thursday the 9th, and then also to end the month, I believe that's the like last Sunday. I think that's I want to say either the 25th or the 26th. That's at this place called Union Jacks. So we'll be doing kind of like a Sunday fun day kind of thing from 5 to 8 there. So
it's an outdoor kind of place near Boyertown.
Yeah.
Like that place.
Awesome. Yeah. And if you can Noah, if you can or Chris, if you can send me those the flyers, or if you have a pamphlet or whatever, I'll pop that up in the video so people can see.
Sweet. Yeah. And I have a link that I could send to you like that can give people directly to my social media and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So I can send that to Chris to send to you. So
sure. Yeah, you can send it. I think we're friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
And Instagram.
Yeah, I can just
you
send it to you,
it to me also. Chris doesn't have to be the middleman.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Chris, any gigs for you coming up other than playing with Noah?
I'm playing with Dave Fry next week or a couple weeks from now up in Bethlehem. But no, that's all I can think of right now. No.
Okay.
So I do have I'm going to send you that Tom Waits song we played a little bit of earlier. We kind of have that one finished for the record with Noah on, and I'll send you a copy of that. You can play that or do with what you want.
Awesome. Very cool, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your night to do this.
Thanks for giving us the
having us,
opportunity to come up with the theme. I mean, to me, that's a challenge, like our show theme, you got to come up with a mood, and you relegated us to 80s, so it was all good. I like that.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. We really appreciate you doing that for us. And we got, like I said, we got a lot of really, really good feedback.
That's great.
That's good, yeah. I mean, you want it to stick in people's minds, and you want to kind of connect to the show, and so hopefully we accomplish that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and plugs, where can people find you guys? Instagram, Twitter, any social media links?
Your QR code, right?
Yeah.
He'll send, and you can pop up. It's down there right now, and I don't even have my Kris Kehr page right now.
Yeah, we got to get that figured out.
Yeah, but I'm on Facebook and Instagram. KRISKEHR is how you spell my name.
It sounds like Kris Kehr.
Yeah, and it's been pronounced that way many times. It's Kehr.
Yep.
Kris Kehr.
Yep, and you can find me on same thing, Instagram and Facebook under my name, Noah Gibney. So,
actually, YouTube, my YouTube page we have a couple of shows that there's a whole duo show there, and there's a couple of trio shows that I filmed and mixed. They sound pretty good, and they're up on my YouTube page too if you search my name.
Yeah, that's really good stuff. And I'll put links to all that stuff in the description of these shows if you're watching or listening as well. You guys want to play us out here a little bit?
You want to do
Sure.
one of yours?
Sure, we can do that.
I know I put you on the spot here, and
That's cool. I like that.
They don't do anything all day anyways but play music, so
Right.
it's not like it's a big deal for them. Come on.
Yeah, like, oh man, we have to play another song.
All right. Well,
Do Serendipity?
sure.
Sure, this is another original tune called Serendipity. Sometimes I feel so down and out, like nothing is going my way. But then the clouds, they disappear, and the sunshine takes out the gray. Serendipity is always vain to be what it will be, will always be. Serendipity to me. Yeah, I know I've been lucky. Good fortune has brought many rainy days. No, you don't have to worry. Just let go and good vibes will be here to stay. Serendipity is always meant to be what it will be, will always be. Serendipity to me. Oh, gotta have a little faith. All right, today might be the day. Serendipity is always meant to be what it will be, will always be. Serendipity to me. Serendipity to me. Serendipity to me. Serendipity to me.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
thank you guys.
Hey,
Really appreciate it.
Us too.
us too. Yeah, for sure.
Have a great President's Day.
This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.